Hey everybody, I'm Jennifer Williams alongside our armchair analyst, Matt Doyle. Matt, in from San Francisco, gracing us with your presence today.
Anytime I get a chance to visit the MLS Now studios, I'm going to take it, so it's good to be here.
And maybe not so good to talk about the U.S. men's national team's loss to Brazil last night. 4-1, 3 of those goals came in the second half. What was your initial reaction?
Disappointment. I thought there was too much experimentation by Jurgen Klinsmann, and I think it's kind of calling it experimentation. This felt more like just throwing stuff at the wall, especially along the back line. Starting Michael Orozco and Ventura Alvarado together, two guys who've never played together in center back before. It showed. Starting Tim Ream and Jeff Cameron, two more natural center backs at the fullback slots. Those guys both struggled to defend 1 versus 1, and that's exactly what Brazil took advantage of on the first goal, and then Cameron getting caught 1 versus 1 against Neymar, leading to the PK. Everybody could see how it was going to work out except for Jurgen Klinsmann, who was the guy whose job it is to see how it was going to work out. And on top of that, he also played Alejandro Bedoya as a defensive midfielder, a spot that Bedoya said afterwards, I've never really played that spot as a pro. But then even more disappointing to me was Klinsmann at halftime kind of ripping Bedoya, throwing him under the bus. He's done that to his players in the past before. It's kind of an ugly scene to me. I don't think it puts the team in good stead, and you have to wonder how it plays in the locker room.
You know, tough night for the U.S. Are there any positives, especially considering there's a pretty big matchup coming up in October?
Well, I think Jurgen Klinsmann's record against Mexico, that's the big matchup that Jennifer's referencing, speaks for itself. He's never lost to them as a player or a coach. And look, he was hired in part to reestablish U.S. dominance over Mexico, and arguably he achieved that in 2013 with the results in the hexagonal. But 2013 is a long time ago. That was a very bad Mexico team. They're not so bad now, even with their own coaching changes and issues. The U.S., on the other hand, has kind of regressed. If you look at games that matter over the last 2 years, at the World Cup, we won once. At the Gold Cup, we were terrible, got knocked out by Jamaica, and then lost to Panama on PKs as well. The next game with real stakes, as you said, is Mexico. U.S. fans, nobody has to panic, but I think everybody should be at least a little bit worried.
And you've been vocal about this. Are there any players, who do you think could be added to this roster to bolster it? And you know, Jurgen, he's going to say that his roster is set.
Yeah, he already has said that the guys who played against Peru and Brazil are the guys he's taken to the game against Mexico. I think it's a mistake. I think this team needs a real playmaker, some creativity, especially in that center channel on the pitch. He's asked Michael Bradley to play that role repeatedly now. Bradley wasn't great at it last year in the World Cup, wasn't great again last night. It's not his position. It's Lee Nguyen's position. He's pretty good. It's Benny Feilhaber's position. He's pretty good. And Sacha Kljestan, who's starting in that role for the team that I think is going to win the Supporters' Shield. And he's playing, I think, the best soccer of his life. Or there are younger guys, Sebastian Lletget, Harry Shipp, Kellen Rowe. A lot of creative talent. None of it seems to be on Klinsmann's radar.
Bring in the young guns. Let's switch gears a little bit. There were actual World Cup qualifiers last night. Canada advanced after a 1-1 draw with Belize. Do you think Canada can qualify for the World Cup?
Well, I think it's down the road a ways. I think this group in front of them does look very, very tough. Mexico, obviously the group heavyweights, Honduras, who we all know crushed Canadian dreams a few years back, and El Salvador. So it's going to be tough getting out of that group, but I honestly think that the talent is there for Canada. Their defensive structure is sound. They do have a couple of good forwards. The problem, same as the U.S., is they're lacking midfield creativity. And again, I think this is a selection issue. I think Jonathan Osorio could solve some problems for that team, make the guys around him a little bit better. I hope Benito Floro starts to see things the same way.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for stopping by the studio. We always enjoy your insight. You can check out more of Matt's articles only on MLSsoccer.com.